Hello and welcome to Market Insights. I am Lovina Emah and it's a beautiful day. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So let's take a look at the activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange this week. That's from Monday, 24th June to Thursday, 27th June. As you know, trading activities are still going on at the stock market today, Friday. So the market had a mixed performance with 3 out of the 4 trading days closing in the negative territory. However, the index managed to rebound on Thursday. So from being negative on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, on Thursday, the market closed on a positive note. So hopefully, today, Friday, the market will also close on a positive note. Transactions at the floor of the stock exchange as of Thursday, 27th of June, closed on a marginal positive note. The all-share index appreciated by 0.01%, settling at 99,396 from the previous close of 99,385. And this brings the year-to-date to 32.94%. The month-to-date at 0.16% and the week-to-date to a negative of 0.29% respectively. So the market capitalization closed at 56.227 trillion naira. That's an aggregate of over 529 million units of shares, which was traded at 7,616 deals valued at over 10 trillion naira. The market's breadth also closed positive as 33 equities gained, while 16 equities declined in share prices. So, after this very short break, I'm going to be having a chartered stockbroker joining us virtually that will delve further into how the markets fared on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the reason why it closed negative on those 3 days, and the surprising turnaround on Thursday to a positive note. So I'm being joined virtually with Peter Sunday Adebola. He's the Managing Director for Edgefield Capital Management Limited. He's also a trading license holder at the Nigerian Exchange Limited, and he's also a dealing member. His firm is also a dealing member of the Lagos Commodities and Futures Market. So are you here with us now, Peter Sunday Adebola? I noticed this week the market traded on, it was rather negative this week on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then surprisingly, there was a turnaround to a positive note. The market closed in on a positive note on Thursday, that's yesterday. So let's first of all start with trading activities on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. What's responsible for the market closing on a negative note this week, on those 3 days?
Okay, thank you very much. The reason for having the market closing on a negative note early this week was just because most of the large cap stocks, their prices came down, most especially the likes of Seplat, the likes of Nestle, and some other big cap stocks in the market. And of course, the banking sector, we also have some of their prices, most especially those banks among Fugas. Their prices came down, and that is why we witnessed the kind of negative notes which the market closed. But yesterday, we see a kind of turnaround among the prices of all these stocks, and that's why you see a kind of positive note in which the price closed out yesterday. And also, I must say that early in the week, the price of Seplat also went down a bit before it started coming up again. And that's what caused the turnaround that we witnessed yesterday.
Okay, let's talk about the top gainers this week. Like you mentioned, Seplat Oil is doing very well at the market, and a few other companies this week. So I guess it's the turn of the oil companies this week. And what's responsible for this new gaining with Seplat Oil? Yes, their shares have been doing well at the stock markets, but recently this trend is something very significant. So can we delve further into this? Your expert opinion.
Okay, you know that today is the last trading day for the half year of 2024. I mean, today is the last Friday, so we are going to have one more day on Monday. So, and we are going to era of interim dividend because we have some companies that normally declare interim dividend every year. So that is what is prompting the market to react to this expected interim dividend of some of the companies. Like you know, Seplat is among those companies that normally declare interim dividend, and also some banks that usually give interim dividend yearly. So as a result of that, markets will have to react to these expected dividends that these companies, these listed companies are going to declare. And that's why you see the change in their prices. And that's why you see some of them that their prices were low before are recovering. And we are going to see that into the new month of July. So our market is going to assess what the interim dividend is going to be and their impact on the prices. And we are likely going to see a little bit of upbeat in the markets in the new months.
Moved is at 10% for Seplat, 10% for Qtix, and then 9.9%, or let me just say plus 9% for the other companies. That has to do with SOUQ, CWG, UACP, and Afripod. So hopefully this trend will also continue this week for all those 5 companies, these top gainers. Okay, so now looking at that, I'm sure, yes, like you also mentioned, Seplat always gives their shareholders this weekly dividend. So that's also something very good for them. But with SOUQ and UCAP, this is also a very new development for them. Your thoughts on these other companies, SOUQ, CWE, and UCAP?
Okay, if you look at UCAP, for instance, you know, they released the information to the market yesterday that they are going to have a board meeting very soon. They are going to consider the possibility of having interim dividend and a bonus issue. And when you have this kind of twin return to the market, you always see that investors are always excited at this information. And that is what could cause the kind of reaction we are seeing in the UCAP. If you look at SOUQ is one of the insurance companies that is highly capitalized. And being a well-capitalized insurance companies and doing very well, you see that the current price of SOUQ has been swinging between 2 naira and 2 naira 30 kobo. So you are going to see the company moving forward. You are going to see a kind of uptrend in the price of that well-managed insurance company. And what you are going to see is that investors will now begin to see the value in this type of, some investors are already seeing it. And that is why you see the price trending up. Don't forget, in the past, we have some insurance company that people did not look at it because just like many Nigerians, they don't have a good belief in insurance company. Likewise is their reaction to the insurance company, listed insurance company. But you see that some of them are actually doing very well, among which SOUQ is one of them. NEM is one of them. And then yesterday, Royal Exchange just rebranded, and you are likely going to see changes, positive changes in this particular sector. And don't forget, as the economy improves, you are going to see that it's going to affect the performances of insurance company as well. And let me also say this, that when you are talking about penny stocks in the market now, you know, we see it in all these insurance companies and investors. In the period where we have high inflation rates, people tend to look for stocks where they can actually have capital appreciation, and they tend to look at penny stock at that point in time. And that's why you are going to see many stocks that are already selling below 10 naira. You are going to see that investor habitat will shift to them. And then that's why you are going to see so many reactions in some of these penny stocks that their prices will start going. Not that alone, you look at Qtix that has been trading for below 3 naira before, but this is a company that actually declare good dividend. When you look at dividend yield of Qtix, it's a very good one. And so investors begin to look at them, and you are going to see so many of them that are actually coming to the limelight now, and you see investors looking at all these stocks. And that is why you see the prices of some of these stocks. Another one is Academic Press. Even though the price has stabilized for some time now, but this is a company that has been consistent in giving good dividend And you're going to see, but some of them are affected because they are not very liquid. So institutional investors are not looking at them, but for some that are relatively, that are a bit liquid, we see that investors are actually looking at them. And that's why you are seeing this kind of uptrend that we witness in SOUQ, Kutix, and CWG right now.
For that, Peter Sunday Adebola, thank you for that. Okay, let's talk about the bottom losers. Surprisingly, we have MTN on the list of the bottom losers, and also CI Leasing, Darcoms, and also Cornhall PLC. So that's quite surprising, seeing MTN on the list of the bottom losers. So what do you think is responsible for these companies being the bottom decliners this week?
If you look at MTN for some time now, for the fact that they didn't declare final dividend for the year ended 2023, that one is making, and that one is actually affecting the company. By the time you look at MTN is a stock that the price has even gone beyond 300 before. I think the highest price it has gotten to is about 319 naira. But right now, because they couldn't declare dividend to investor for the year ended 2023, it affected the company. It affected the price of the company. But notwithstanding, so the position now is that investors are waiting for what they are going to do at Avia. So looking at the performance, if the performance looks better, then you are going to see a rebound in the price of MTN. But the market is waiting for all these Avia results, and I believe some of them, because if we look at where our exchange rate was as of December and where it is now, I think it's better now comparable to what we had in December, and that is going to affect what we are going to see in MTN and all other companies that are related in that sector. However, I must say this, that if MTN to do something, maybe they're going to declare interim dividend or so, and not losses, as they declared at the full year ended 2023, they're going to see a rebound in it. So what you are seeing in MTN now is that people are waiting. Investors are waiting to see what is going to happen, and whatever happens when they release their results is going to dictate which direction the price is going to go further. If the Avia result is very good, you are going to see a rebound in it. But if it is not, you are not going to see anything. The same thing happened to CNI Leasing. This is a company that for the past 5 years, they've not declared any cash dividend to investors. So investors are actually, some of the companies that are not declaring, that have not declared dividend before, people are shifting their investment to those ones that they are anticipating interim dividend from. And that's why you see some of these stocks that are losing now compared with those of them that are gaining, because those ones that are gaining are either going to declare interim dividend or their fundamentals are very strong that are actually make investors to run after their shares. That's what we see in the market right now.
Right, so Dark Communications being on that bottom decliners list this week.
Yes, you will see Dark Communication
I'm
is
referring to
another company. Just like I said, Dark Communication has not declared any dividend for the past 5 years. So it's also among the stocks that investors are not actually running after. But following the death of the owner, so people will see that, okay, probably there is going to be a turnaround in the company. So what I'm saying now is that what is going to, so investors' appetite for the company actually increased. That, okay, well, if there is turnaround in the company, they're going to see the company rewarding the investor on that communication. But as we speak now, what investors are waiting for is the Avia result. So all these companies, people are looking at what the returns are they going to get. Investment is about return. And for astute investors, they don't invest based on sentiment. They invest based on the returns that they are going to get from any investment they make. And that is exactly what is playing out now. So that's what this trend that you see that started in the market this week is what you are going to see up until the end of July, because information will begin to hit the market, and based on the information and previous experience of investors, will determine the kind of decision that they are going to make. And it is also rational for the investor to look at the stocks where they can get returns on their investment. As I said earlier, some banks actually declare interim dividend, the likes of UBA, Zenith Bank, Access Bank, now Access Corp, GTCO, and even just like we said, SOUQ is considering giving interim dividend now, and that's why people are looking at it. And apart from banking sector, so we have the likes of Seplat that usually give interim dividend. MTN we also used to do before, and Airtel. So all these ones that normally give interim dividend for investors, that's the area the investors want to look at now and move away from those ones that they know they cannot get anything from. And then after this quarterly rally, then you are now going to see new things that are going to happen towards Christmas at the last quarter of the year, and then the year will end before we start another cycle next year.
Okay, thank you for that, Peter Adebola. Okay, now looking at the market's breadth, 33 equities gained while 16 declined. So that being said, now today's out trading activities today, we're hopeful that it will close on a positive note. But if we're still dissecting how trading activities fared this week now, are there pockets of strength in certain sectors despite the overall decline on 3 major days? Then it was just hopefully 2 days of positive trading. Do you think there'll be certain sectors where there'll be overall strength, looking at how trading activities fared this week?
Okay, what we are going to see, we are going to see a lot of activities in the banking sector, you see, because of the explanation I've given earlier. And also we are going to see some activities around petroleum subsector, where we have Seplat, we have the likes of Total, we have the likes of O&O and others. So we are going to see some activities there. And also in industrial goods too, we are going to have some activities there, such as Dangote Cement, Dangote Sugar, and others. We are going to have some activities there. But I will say that banking sector, for now, we continue to lift the activities in the market, because that is where we have the crop of listed companies that are actually that normally reward investors for interim dividends. So you are going to see a lot of activities in the banking subsector. And don't also forget that banking sector, most of the banks listed, some of them are gathering momentum for recapitalization exercise. And as a result of that, you are going to see a lot of activities in this sector up until the time they are going to come up. Fidelity is in the market right now for the hybrid offer. That is for the rights issue and also for the public offer. It is also, we know that they are doing rights issue at N$25 and then public offer at N$75. So we are expecting others to also come to the market, to raise capital in order to meet the CBN requirements for their new capital base. So we are going to see a lot of activities in the banking sector, and also among the penny stocks, we are going to see a lot of activities there, based on the reason I gave earlier, that many investors at the period where we have this high inflation rate, they are looking for where they can get returns that is going to be higher than the inflation rate. And the only place they can get it for now is through the stock market by getting capital appreciation as part of returns that is going to accrue to shareholders.
Gold Purchase Program, NGPP, has the potential to boost Nigeria's reserves and also improve on our Naira right now. And this is going to be something very good for our economy right now. But, in the past, we've seen past ministers also talk about how we have gold and other resources. But I want to focus specifically on gold and how it has the potential to improve on our economy, on our GDP, on our foreign reserves. But in the long term, we haven't been seeing this mission it's never followed through. It's just, we see the press, we see the media covering it, and we're all hopeful. But after a while, we don't hear anything about it. So this new discovery by Dele Alake, do you think it's going to be something that can move to the long term? It has the potential to be very sustainable.
Okay, thank you very much, Lovina. Let me say that it's a good development that Nigeria, we are now exploring and refining our goals. And according to what we heard, that about 600,000 tons of gold has been discovered in Zamfara and Edo State. And you see, Nigeria is a very blessed country. We only have 600 tons discovered in Zamfara and Edo State, but we have other states of the country that we also have gold in terms of reserves in Nigeria. We have the likes of Taraba State, we have the likes of Osun State, where we can get gold, and some other states of the Federation. And with this new development, I think it's a good thing that is going to actually boost our economy. I will say this, that you see, let us look at gold as a metal. Gold as a metal is a metal that does not decay, and is a measure of is a global store of value in the different nations of the world. Now, all other commodities can decay. All other commodities can reduce in their value, but gold is not. Even when other commodities can be consumed by fire, when fire passes through gold, then it becomes better. And as a result of these special characteristics that gold has, that is what nations all over the world has been using gold as store of value, because gold, it cannot be used up like every other commodities. Okay, when you are talking about other commodities, even if you talk about iron, iron can rust, other metals can, they can corrode. But metal, gold is always the same. In fact, the quality of gold does not depreciate. And that's why it has become a store of value. So all over the world, people cherish gold a lot. And for Nigeria to discover that, that means that Nigeria is on the path to become one of the greatest countries in the world. Now, if you look at all those economic powers of the world, you will see, if you look at their gold reserves, you will see that some of the economic powers of the world, they have very high gold reserves. You know, when we are talking about countries like China, we talk about companies like France. All of them, they have very high gold reserves. But when you come down to Africa here, you will see that it's only South Africa and Egypt that are ahead of Nigeria as we speak. So, and with what we have, with what God has blessed us, if we can actually explore this and then refine our gold, then Nigeria is on the path to greatness, as we're supposed to be the giant of Africa. And let me also say this, that apart from the fact that gold is in high demand all over the world, the economic value of it before 1971, you see, gold is being used to determine what the currency value of any country will be. That is, the more gold you have, the stronger your currency will be, until the Bretton Woods Agreement that changed the situation. But even then, up until now, the higher your gold reserves, the more confidence the other nations of the world have in you. That is, they know that if you have high gold reserves, then you'll be able to pay your debt, even if you earn anything. And that is what this gold can do for Nigeria. You understand? If we have our gold reserves being filled to a higher capacity, it's going to help our nation a lot in terms of our in terms of the way the world perceives us as having the capacity to repay our debt. So it's a good development if government can actually explore the opportunity to find more gold, to discover more areas where we have this good deposit, so that we can explore them, refine them, and then export them. Is really, really going to do a lot for our economy.
Saying Adebola, yes, I do.
Yes,
But
Lovina.
like I mentioned earlier, and we've seen past ministers like Obi Ezekwesili also talk about Nigeria's potential with gold. But okay, looking at the framework, the Minister for Solid Minerals said that this gold bars that were sourced from artisanal and small-scale miners can boost Nigerian reserves by over $5 million, and that's something very good for our economy right now. But how can how can this function in line with the established frameworks that it can be sustained over a long period of time? We don't want a situation whereby we just have this on ground and then maybe after a while we don't hear anything about it again. What would you recommend that the minister can do to sustain this so that it can this framework so that it can be sustained for a long period of time? And in addition to that, okay, this thing was sourced from artisanal and small-scale miners. So this means that they were digging and they discovered this gold reserves, but we don't know the exact amount of Nigerian gold reserves underground and what quantity it's at. So if it's possible, would you recommend we could be tagging our gold? There should be just something to regulate this sector so that it's not everybody and anybody that has the ability to dig that goes to these states with these resources and just starts digging up. So your thoughts on this, Peter Adebola?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, the one they just discovered is just about 600,000 tons. Okay, according to available data, Nigerian gold reserves that we have now, the potential can go up until about 1.485 billion metric tons. Okay, so you will see that Nigeria has potential to even discover more and to even have more for us to explore. What can governments do, or what do we need to do, is that governments now need to come up with regulatory framework that is going to make all this exploration of this mineral they need to streamline the activities of the players in that sector. If government can put a proper framework there, that is going to make the operation to be seamless and transparent, you are going to see that Nigeria will go far in this exploration of all these minerals. So right now, we have heard it over the news how some people will just come from other countries, the foreigners, they will just come to our land, they will explore our minerals, and they will export it, escaping the net of revenue that will be generated by government, through their private jets and others. So government need to put appropriate framework in place that is going to make the exploration and the refining of all these minerals in place. When that is done, then we are ready to actually diversify our economy into all these mineral resources. But the law guiding the exploration and refining need to be looked at. Government need to look at the framework, and government need to come up with the value chains around all these mineral resources that we have in Nigeria. What do I mean by that is that we need to look at the exploration, from exploration to refining, from refining to trading, from trading to exploitation, and also how it's going to increase our GDP. That's what we need to do. And I know in some places they were just exploring all these artisans and all these small miners. What they do is that they don't refine. What they only do is to get these raw goods and then begin to sell it to foreigners. What government needs to do is put appropriate framework into place. All those operators that have been licensed, they need to come up with solid regulation that is going to make their operation. And then they should encourage other companies that can refine this gold. Even if they are going to come from foreign countries, then we should allow them to come, and then we begin to refine our resources. If we can do this, then it's going to add to our GDP, and of course, it's going to also add to it's also going to boost our economy. Don't forget, even the crude oil that we are exploring now, we know that international oil companies are the ones dominating that sector. So there is nothing wrong, and before they could do that, we have the regulation in place that actually regulate what they are doing in the petroleum sector. And also, recently, The Petroleum Industry Act was also enacted. So the same thing we need to do into our mineral resources. Let us look at the regulatory framework. Let us come up with regulation that is going to make us to extract value from all these mineral resources that we have in Nigeria. And when we do this, then operators can come once they understand the way it works, and government is also able to regulate the activities of the players in the industry. Then we are going to extract a lot from that, and that will also add significant value to our economy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, the former president, I just want to take you back a bit now. The former president, President Buhari, had a similar initiative. I believe it was called the Presidential Initiative on Artisanal Mining. And I'm just looking at how this has, what impact it has placed on our on the mining industry in Nigeria. So because that was during his tenure, now we have the National Gold Purchase Program. So I just want to ask you two questions now. We didn't really see much impact on that in improving artisanal mining, and then this new program, the National Gold Purchase Program, now how does it align with Nigeria's broader strategy for economic diversification? Maybe we should just focus on this current program, the National Gold Purchase Program, and how it's aligning with our broader strategy in economic diversification now. So how does this align with Nigeria's broader?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Now, so you know that the essence of any production is getting the market where you are actually going to sell your products when you actually produce, either in terms of primary industry or in terms of secondary industry. So with this program that government is having now, so that will guarantee that anybody that explore or look for, extract this good, they have a place where they can actually get it, they can actually find a buyer who is going to purchase this material from them. And as government is encouraging them that, okay, explore and extract and bring it to us, we are going to do it. It's in the right direction. Unlike before, just like I told you, that many foreigners, they just come to our land, extract our raw goods, and then they take it to their own country. They go and refine it, and it will add to their own GDP. Whereas we own it, we are not refining our own. Our artisans, they can't see where they are going to take it to, even when they extract. And that is the problem. But with this program that the new government has built on what the past administration has done, is a kind of improvement. It's like we are getting to the next level of actually extracting value from our mineral resources. And it's a welcome development. I believe that they can also improve on this particular program. And when that is done, because we don't have many gold refiners in the country, maybe one or two, I don't know, I'm not sure. But if we can have more in all these strategic areas where gold is being extracted, we can refine them, and then to support this program of the government is actually going to have significant value to our economy, and our GDP will grow. And that is what we want, because we actually need to diversify from petroleum products to other areas. And I can tell you that this gold metal that government is looking at is a good mineral resource that government will actually work on, so that they can get the real value. Nigeria should need to benefit from it. We cannot be having gold reserves in abundance, and then our country is still poor. Many countries, when you are discussing with a foreigner, they cannot understand why Nigeria is poor. They cannot understand why our per capita income is that low with all the resources that we have. And the reason is that we are not doing what we are supposed to do. So I would say that the program that the federal government is putting in place now is in the right direction. to actually take us to where we're supposed to be. And I believe that with full implementation of this program, we are going to see a lot. You know, the figure they just gave us is the first quarter. We are going to see what will also happen before the end of the year. And then we'll be able to assess what government has done and probably offer more suggestions on how to improve in this area. Thank you very much.
Okay, as you know, I just want to ask you now, Russia and China, these foreign countries, they actually, the world, they take a lot of shares of the gold markets, both Russia and China. And with this discovery by the Minister for Solid Minerals, does it actually, if properly managed, like if we could come up with a blueprint for artisanal and small-scale mining, can we actually see Nigeria being positioned as an exporter of gold in the future that can improve on our economy going forward?
Oh, yes. Let me also say this. Okay, let me also say this, that as a country, in fact, everything that can make us to be great as a country is already in our country. All we just need to do is to make sure that we work together and be very optimistic to make sure that we get there. All these small scale miners and others, you know, we already have a structure. For instance, in Nigeria now, we have so many commodity exchanges, and one of them that is thriving very well is Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange, where even those people that are refining this oil can actually trade it. They can actually trade it on Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange. All they just need to do is that if they get their gold, or if they extract it, what they need to do is to put it to a warehouse that is certified by the government. Or if they don't want to do that, they have their own warehouse. It's just for them to contact, you know, daily member firm of the Lagos Commodity and Future Exchange to go and inspect the warehouse, and then they invite government relevant government agency that is going to certify that what they have, the quality and the standard are met. And from there, it can be traded. So we can develop the ecosystem for all these things that will make our industry to be even greater than that of France and Russia. But because we are not looking at the value chain is not being well developed, that is why and let me also say this, any commodity that does not have, a formal exchange, there is no way that kind of, there is no way the players in that industry can actually extract proper value. So, like I said, if they do their own and they route it through the commodity exchange, and as we have the commodity exchange, which is adding significant value to the economy, then all other participants that want to buy, we can meet at the exchange where the buyers and sellers are also going to meet. And with this, when we follow the structured market, we now see that we are going to extract the real value that we're supposed to get from this. And if you look at all these countries we are talking about, France, Russia, even in Egypt here, you will see that they have a well-structured market. So the value chain is well-structured to the extent that investors know that, okay, if I play either in the primary segment of the industry or I played at the buy end, I'm going to extract value. And that is what we want to encourage in the market through our commodity exchange, that if government can encourage this and investors are well educated about this, we can actually get to where other countries are in the world.
This, in what ways can Nigeria develop its mineral wealth to contribute to other sectors of the economy, such as the manufacturing sector, the industrial sector, and also our technology sector in our economy?
Okay, you know that all these mineral resources that we are talking about, most of our industries, they actually need them. For instance, some years ago, we talked about nickel. Okay, nickel, lithium, and others. As you know, lithium is one of the metals that is highly demanded in the manufacturing of batteries. in the world. So we need this, and if we can actually produce them in Nigeria and we revive our battery manufacturing companies in the world. I remember when we were young in Ibadan, there we have Exide batteries that produce batteries for the entire West Africa. So all those companies, we need to revive them. But how are we going to? What are we going to do even if we revive them? They need raw materials, and the raw materials that we are talking about actually come from all these mineral resources that we need to extract and pass to our manufacturing industry. Like we talk about gold, you know that it's not only for jewelry, because many people think gold is about jewelry alone. No, we need in our electronics, we need gold there for as one of their raw materials. Even in our cars, even that is automobile, even in our furniture and there are other equipment that we have at home. We need gold for all these things. And other mineral resources like lithium, as I have said, like aluminium, like tin and all that. So we need them to feed our industry as raw materials to all these industries. So if we awake to the fact that we need to develop all these mineral resources, it's going to feed into our industry, both automobile, both manufacturing, both producer of household items, and what have you. And we are going to see that with that, we are going to develop our economy. Let me say this, that there is no economy in the world that develops without developing their mineral resources. Go and find out. And that is why what Mr. Dele Alake is doing now is something that we need to shower accolades on him.
National Gold Purchase Program, NGPP, actually has the potential to boost our country's reserves and our Naira value. Are you back with us, Peter Sunday Adebola? Okay, he's not yet back with us. Okay, so like he mentioned, yes, looking at a holistic view of this, it has the potential to improve on different sectors of our economy, our manufacturing industry, technology industry. So this is something that is very good for Nigeria, in addition to boosting our foreign reserves and also the value of our Naira right now. But we hope it will also be sustained in the long term, and it's not just going to be something that will fade away after a short while. So that being said, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Peter Sunday Adebola, for joining me on this episode of Market Insights as we discussed Nigeria's potentials with mineral resources. Thank you for this. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's always great having you on the program. So let's look at the foreign market rates, how the Naira is selling against the dollar. So we're going to look at the money rates from Monday to Friday today, how the Naira fed and the selling prices for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So on Monday, the selling rate, that's the CBN rate only. On Monday, it was 1,363 Naira to $1. And on Tuesday, it's the same figure, 1,363 Naira to $1. On Wednesday, it increased to 1,444 Naira to $1. On Thursday, the same figure, 1,444 Naira to $1. And on Friday, the same figure, also 1,444 Naira to $1. So those are our money rates figures. That's from the Central Bank of Nigeria. How the dollar sold this week from Monday to Friday. So those are the money rate figures this week. Okay, I want to thank my guest, Peter Sunday Adebola, the Managing Director of Edgefield Capital Management Limited, for joining me on Market Insights as we talked about Nigeria's economic diversification through mineral resources with focus on gold, as the Minister for Solid Minerals has created the National Gold Purchase Program, and gold that was dug up by artisanal and small-scale miners can be used to boost our economy, improve on our foreign reserves, and also the value of the Naira. So it's been great discussing these issues with you. Thank you so much to my guests, and thank you very much for watching Market Insights this morning. So I do hope you can join us next week as we discuss more issues affecting our economy and solutions to these issues. Many thanks for watching the program. I am Lovina Emah.